Little bumpy.
Second stop on the BMW IBSF Women's Bobsleigh World Cup Tour. We're in Winterberg in Germany. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you're joining us. Thank you for joining us trackside here in the Hochsauerland as we get ready for the second and deciding run of the second round of the series. Martin Haven, John Morgan trackside, and an entertaining first run sees a tie for third place.
Last week, Christina Hengster, Brakeman Decker, they won a bronze medal in a tie capacity. No, they won a silver medal last week in Altenburg, so here she is on the podium potential again. Well, the Canadians number one here, Kaylee Humphries, Melissa Lohnholz, they were thought to be able to have a real solid chance of winning the gold, but they find themselves back in third place to two American sleds. Alana Taylor and Carrie Jones making her World Cup debut. Lana had some problems down on the bottom part of the track, or the middle part of the track, but second best time. Had a track record at the start. And then Jamie Grubel, Posner, Cheryl Garrett. Well, great start. Flew down the track, consistent drive lines. They're the leaders. They're leaders by almost 0.2 of a second. She's been in this position before.
She has indeed. Last time she led a heat, she won in Eagles 2014, and of course that's where we go for our World Championships the end of this season. She leads by 18 from Alana Myers-Taylor, 21 hundredths back, the tie between Hengster and Humphries, and then 33 hundredths back, Anja Schneider-Heinze, the best for Germany. Looks like the Germans may not end up with a medal here after winning gold in the two-man race. Alpha Willemsen, Sandra Kroll, and the rest of the field come in behind them. Well, we go 10 down to 1 in our second deciding heat. They go in reverse order of their first heat performance. And that means that first up will be our World Cup rookie from Austria, Katrin Bayerl. Those are the trophies waiting our top half dozen. And continuing the warm-up, Kerry Jones there doing some sprints before she gets on behind Alana Myers-Taylor. Thinking away down the track, Maria Constantin of Romania. Big smile from Christina Hengster. Last year she came in for her headshots beginning of the season. What's the single most important fact she told us? So pleased to be back in the World Cup after injury and a hiatus. And now here she is, podium in her first race this year. And challenging again. Well, the Canadians and the Austrians will be chasing the two US sleds. And they may not be alone either. A couple of quick sleds for Germany and Belgium, just off the medal positions. So here's how they'll go. Austria's rookie Katrin Bayerl first off with Anne van Nieuwenhuis, Maria Constantin, Sandra Kroll and Alpha Willemsen. Then into the fast five, Schneidi, Humphries, Hengster, Myers-Taylor and Grubel-Poser. The start is free, the track is clear for the first of our sleds in this second heat, deciding runs for the women's race here in Winterberg in Germany. Katrin Bayerl with Karlene Schlepper. Bayerl in her first ever World Cup start as a driver for the Austrian bobsled team. It was a competent looking drive first time down.
Her brakeman's a hammer thrower. A lot of field events from track and field in the women's bobsled brakeman position. 5.75, that's 200s worse. 43.4, not a bad start speed. Track conditions looks a little cooler. They spritz the track. This sled, if they have a decent lines, will tell us whether the track's a little faster than it was in the first run. Midday, that's a skid. She had that same type of skid in the first run.
Looks like she's just steering early into the corner and the sled drifts through, and that's clearly something she's done on purpose.
First time we've ever seen two Austrian sleds in a World Cup women's bob event, I think.
Dropped a little bit more speed with that mistake than she did in the first run. She's behind on her speed.
Late here, she's going to really steer hard down the lap, but she'll probably be late in this last curve. Probably hit over here. No, she got through it.
Sorted it out, but how much ice was she cutting? First time in the World Cup, and she takes the line 58.32. That's 4/10 of a second, 8/10, 9/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second. I can't
Two
subtract.
tenths. 2,200 slower.
There we go. It was in there somewhere.
Through and down, their first World Cup ever. Congratulations to them.
And great to see Austrian bobsledding for the women. Yeah,
for two sleds.
Really
Look
stepping
at this
up.
skid. She did the same thing both times, 4 to 5 skids in there. And when you're going that slow, here it is on an 8 to 9. A little tap on the middle of the takeout of the curve. This forces you down in the middle where you have to steer harder. But happy to be through and down, and look forward to seeing her the rest of the season, especially at the World Championships in her home country.
Yeah, that'll be great for the Austrians, great for the Belgians. Lots of support here. Hundreds of fans bust in from their new sponsor, Anne van Nieuwenhuis and Nell Pollison. This is the sled that took several medals last year in the hands of Elfa Willemsen.
589, 42nd best start speed, drift. Yeah, the name of the sled's Olaf after Snowman and Frozen.
Yeah.
It's cool when they give the names to the sleds. 500s. Now, she didn't have a very good first run. She did very well in Altenburg last week. She shows she's got some driving skills. She's a 60 and 100-meter hurdler.
Again, the Belgians doing the same deal as they did right from the beginning, getting a good team and then separating it out from a driver and a brakeman into 2 drivers, double the team.
This looks like a much cleaner ride than her first run, and good chance of her maybe having a faster time. I gotta believe she's gonna be faster here. The speeds, I'll tell you right here, it's fastest speed. 57.96, nope, 1,400 slower. So the Austrians are gone. The Belgians get into the leader's box.
Big advantage over the Austrians, 64 hundredths of a second.
As expected.
Yeah. So Anne with that
Her mother's
season
here.
of experience.
Saw her mother up in the crowd. We had our World Cup Bobsled Congress in Ghent, Belgium this summer. Fantastic city. What a great job the Belgians did hosting us. Boy, was that brakeman in there quick. I mean, you couldn't even see that brakeman. Get in, get down with cat-like efficiencies, bury yourself in the back for aerodynamics, and you're off to the races.
And doing all the glamour work as well, humping the sled around. All part of the glitzy life that is the showbiz world of bobsled. Next up for Romania, Maria Constantin, new brakewoman, first start for her, Erika Halle. And her regular brakewoman is Andrea Grecu. She's driving one of the pilot sleds this weekend. So again, the Romanians doing the same deal, taking their best brakewoman, getting her to learn how to drive.
The new brakewoman is not a good drive in and out of curve 1, but the brakeman, she's a long jumper. Boy, the track and field is married to the sport of bobsled.
That's where you find that explosive, fast twitch fiber, isn't it?
Starting to see that way back in the mid-70s when the East Germans started recruiting Meinhard Niemer. I think he was a hammer thrower or a discus thrower. All he did was go on to win 3 gold medals in the 76 and 80 games. And John Howell, famous Great Britain decathlete in the 1980 Olympics. So you started seeing that track and field influence, including Edward Moses, into the early 90s for the United States.
Well, she was talking to Maria after after first round, saying 7-8 didn't really work for her. She's tidied that up, and the result is clear. 3/10 clear, and at the line, 3,500 advantage over Anne van Nieuwenhuis.
She's only 300 slower in her first run.
Yeah.
You know, and again, we talked about in the first heat, she's driving a German sled. Germans have sort of given it this FES Berlin sled. It's a little bit better than that Yugo she was driving the last few years.
I was saying the colors on it, is this an ex-Andrew Langer sled?
It
And she
does
said,
look
yeah, I think it is too.
I think it is too. But she drove around here not like Andre Lange.
No, okay.
She knows the track well. Good lines all the way down the track. She's a good pilot, young, and good hopes for the Romanians who do so much with so little. And they're in all the disciplines. They don't, every discipline they're in. Men, women, 2-man, 4-man, skeleton.
So Maria Constantin has the lead by a handy margin. Next up is the first of our two German sleds. This is Sandra Kroll. Now Sandra lying in 7th position. A little bit perplexed, Christoph Lang and the coach, with the lack of speed in the German sleds.
Got a rookie brakeman making her World Cup debut in the first heat. Christian Strack, 5:62, faster than her first heats. 3rd best start speed. They have the fastest start in this heat, but the 3rd best speed. And that's the rookie brakeman trying to use that power step to get in the sled.
Personal coach Sandra Kroll, Karl Angerer.
Bavarian guy,
yeah,
like she is. Good lines here. And Germans were a little perplexed in the first run how slow their sleds were on the bottom part of one of their home tracks. Sandra Kroll, very good last week at her World Cup debut in Altenburg in the first run. Second run, she had a few miscues.
This is
ooh, that's late there. Now she's really late here in the outlet. She's not done yet. She's going to be late for 3 more corners, and she finally catches up to everything. And that's a rookie mistake. I would love to see Christoph Langen's expression on his face when he looked at that exit of curve 9. So,
well, she beats the Romanians, but she nearly backed it into turn 10 there. That could have gone very squirrely, very quickly.
The only other person with a problem like that in the first heat was Alana Myers-Taylor of the United States. It's just that curve 9 has been a nemesis for a lot of sliders over to the 40 years they've been coming to this track. Watch it. Now watch her come down. Now she'll go back up. The sled's got no place to go. It's 2 runners. Watch these pictures. Not the way you want to be looking at the next corner, almost sideways, and then look at the skid.
Look at that, out the side window.
Then, but she recovers. Yes. Usually you made the mistake here, then you pay for it down there 3 corners later on 14. Look at Rennie Spies tell her. It's he's a Winterberg guy. And he says, hey, just hold it on.
Well, fast hands from Sandra Kroll to save that one. She was looking out the side window down into turn 10. 6th after the first of our 2 hits, Alpha Willemsen with Sophie Verkrijzen. Big support at what is the local track for the Belgians. You'll hear that at the top of the ice.
Choreography on ice, this bobsled start. Precision, get in, get down, bury yourself. Hope the driver can get around the first curve without losing too much exit speed. It's 3rd best speed, and considering that's the 2nd best start, that wasn't perfect. Elfie, brand new sled. She was the queen of speed on the World Cup Tour last year for women's bobsled, but the first event of the year in Altenburg, she didn't maintain that reputation in the first heat. Didn't have the speed on the bottom of the track like she had in Winterberg last year. It was amazing the last couple of years, speed she had attained on the bottom part of the track. Then that's where they got the name the Belgian Bullets.
And now, with the new sponsor, they're the Red Devils, the nickname of Belgium's football team. 87.3, 2nd best speed so far.
Down by 2/10, but she could catch in the bottom. Well, this is what you expect. Remember how bad the German sled was. Sandra Kroll, not the case with Elfie Willemsen, 57.51. Boy, she's 3,900 slower, so the track is not giving up what it gave in the first heat at all.
But she turned over a 1,200th deficit to a 2,100th advantage, so that big skid by Sandra Kroll cost her 0.3 of a second and more.
At least. Getting around curve 1, 0 curve they call it, excuse me. They put this in about 2007 when they redid the track. Boy, it gave the track a totally different personality. I love it. Here in the finish, or the Kreisel, excuse me, you see the consistent line you expect. Look at the brakeman head getting bounced around a little bit. That's the G-force. She needs a longer track.
Alpha Willemsen leads with Sophie Verkrijzen behind her. Sandra Kroll 2nd, Maria Constantin 3rd, 5 to go, and off the blocks quick. Anja Schneiderheinze of Germany with Elina Nolte behind her.
Boy, they went out quick. 5:53.
Started 5.50 in the first heat, second only to Alana Myers-Taylor's 5.45.
Start speed wasn't that bad, 42 kilometers, not the best. Now, she lost an eternity of time here in the bottom part of the track. With this type of start, she should have been way better than she was, especially on a German track, but there's a tap. That's gotta slow you down.
Fraction quicker than her first run.
Half second. It's not a question of her being in the lead at the bottom. The question is, can she do enough to advance up the leaderboard?
Yeah. Chasing the medals from a third of a second back.
Late there. Speed. Boy, I don't think the German sled's got much speed here in the bottom. Fourth best speed in the finish. She's the leader, but that's the full. Look at him shake his head. He's perplexed about that because they shouldn't have the fourth best speed on their track with that start time in the finish. They should have the best speed. So something's up.
And no massive visible errors. And again, you look at the runners that they've chosen for the day and whether the weather window has just moved away from them.
Start, well, as good as you get. These are unbelievable athletes. Erin Nolta, she's a track and field athlete, long jumper.
Spent a lot of time behind Sandra Kyriasis, didn't she?
Yeah, there's a little skid there in 9. Not as bad, exit at 9. Boy.
They'll look at all the video, they'll look at all the splits. And
Rennie is, this guy was a master on this track. It's his hometown.
Well, she was 1200ths off the tie for a bronze medal. Could still take a medal, but she might need a stroke of luck. So now 4 to go, all medal contenders. Tied for third, Kaylee Humphries, the world and Olympic champion, who won last week with Melissa Lottholtz behind her.
So she went second, so Hengster would go first. That's how they break the tie. Whoever drew number 1 at an earlier start number, if they're tied. Yeah. Well, you know, here we go for the medals.
Whoever sets the time
56,
goes last.
52. Second best start speed. And, well, this is the queen of speed the last 5 years in women's bobsledding. She's dominated the sport. Took a year off from getting on the gold medals last year, but came back with a vengeance last week in Altenburg and won by a lot. And first heat, we were a little confused why she wasn't quicker than she was.
Top speed so far for Humphries. And again, 88.0, no one's been that quick. Another BTC Latvia sled.
Boy, she's lost the speed again, though, like we saw in the first heat. Only 12 to 10. But the Germans didn't have any speed down here either, so she skids there.
Wait, are we going to get
yeah, no,
time?
she's taking away. But the Germans had no speed. Kaylee Humphries got way more speed than the German sled. She got the best speed at the bottom. That's why she pulled away by 2/10.
Still 1900 slower than her first heat, but enough to put her in the lead.
Middle part of the track, something happens. Kaylee wasn't.
Yeah, she's happy with the drive, though.
Goggles, one of the only, I think she's the only athlete in the field wearing goggles.
Yeah, I think she is now. Cripps still wear goggles? Or has he gone to a vice? I can't recall. Do you know, I can't recall now. But there you go, there's the body language of a woman that's happy with her day's work, win, lose, or draw. It's a good run.
It's a team sport, and the way the team enters the sled, now see the sled in the grooves, that keeps the sled going straight, but soon these grooves end, and Kaylee's got to get her hands on those D-rings to make sure they don't come out of those grooves not in a straight line. And best start, but not the best speed. And
that's why she got spiked by Melissa as they were sitting down. So, tied for third, medalist last weekend, silver medalist Christina Hengster, with Sanne Dekker behind her.
Well, they better try and get off the blocks in like a 61 or a 62 here, because they've got a deficiency to Kaylee Humphries at the start. 67, they went backwards. Fourth best speed. I don't know if she can catch Humphries in the bottom. She was fast on the bottom in her brand new sled. Betsy the Beast, they call it. She needs to be absolutely perfect up here. She took a lot of that curve. Now watch her enter the Kreisel, the back end of the picture coming up here. See if she's straight. No, taps before the straightaway, before the take-on.
Kilometer down on Humphries for speed.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to catch her on the bottom. He's going to be 2/10 down probably here.
Closer though, half a kilometer away.
No chance.
The gap's too large.
No.
She'll drop a couple of places. She'll be behind Schneiderheinzer.
This was not a good run. She went slower at the start. And if you go slow at the start, you can't make mistakes down the track. Doesn't matter what type of speed she's got, she's buried. Fourth best time of the run. Falls a couple places.
Yep,
Not a very good second run for Christina Hengster of Austria. Manfred Mayer, the coach, he knows.
Well, that's why it's called racing, not winning. You can't take a medal every time out. There were two sleds in the field.
They're going to look at that start time. The Germans got quicker. Everybody's getting quicker to start. They went a couple hundred slower and then made some driving errors down the track. And now here's the going into Kreisel. Look at this tap. Now watch the sled bounce to the middle. See that little waver right there? And then she's got to get on and steer harder than she wants to. And boy, when you steer, it's not the person that steers the most that wins. It's the driver that steers the least.
Kaylee Humphries, our world champion on this track in February, leads the race with 2 to go. Both Team USA sleds. Alana Myers-Taylor gives 22-year-old Kerry Jones. Last week was her birthday. This week her World Cup debut. A little late birthday present. Could end with a medal.
5'1", 125 pounds, track and field athlete from Baylor. Boy, she in and down quick. They set the track record in the first day, and they do it again.
5:43. She's earning her birthday present if she gets it.
USA's got 3 or 4 unbelievable athletes.
Wow.
In the brakeman position. The drivers aren't bad either. But she's only got a 1300ths lead with that superior start time. Seems to me she might have made this driving error right in curve 1 or 2. So way to 17 now. And she's had a problem down at curve 9 and 10 all week.
Big speed from Alana Myers-Taylor, 89.3 kilometers.
Clean. She's opening it up. She's going to need it. Watch out here. Watch out.
Better off
That's
9.
her best.
There we go.
She's going to get through there. So this is going to be
133 kilometers an hour.
one more spot.
Oh, rattles it into the heel curve.
Top speed.
Takes speed away, but she'll lead from Kaylee Humphries. Wow.
She'll take it. She's had some problems up 9 and 10 all week. This time the problem wasn't in 9 and 10. It was down at 14, 13.
Well, that's the law of unintended
And there's
consequences.
the inexperience of the brakeman. You know, she's
Falls on the anchors.
her first ever World Cup. She didn't stop the sled up there where they get out.
Yeah.
But this, Kerry Jones, welcome to the sport.
Yeah,
For
welcome to the medals.
125-pound little mighty might here, boy. Wow, what a track record at the start. Down here, she comes off here late, and watch out, the hard pop there, and then she gets away with it. But, you know, she didn't steer away from that. She hit and let the sled come straight. So she's got enough experience to know that don't try and compound the error. Hit, go straight.
Did the same with the error in the first heat in a different place. Just let it fly. Keep the speed.
Well, it's her first medal of the year after a disappointing event in Altenburg last week. Congratulations to Alana Myers.
Jamie Grubel poser and Sherelle Garrett now. Garrett, a winner last week. Here we go.
Well, a lot of pressure on Jamie Grubel. 5.52 in the first run. Should get at least that. 5.53. That's adequate. Good start speed, the best.
Led by 1800ths off the first heat.
Her brakeman's got a lot of speed and a great experience with that power step into the sled. Now it's up to Jamie to point her BMW sled like she did in the first run. She flew down the track, best speeds, best time. She's won once before, January 2014 in Innsbruck.
Well, Winterberg, in that same year, she led off the first heat, slipped away to 4th, and And Sandra Kiriasis took her last ever World
right to the
Championship World Cup win.
She could have a perfect line here and catch Alana Myers at the bottom.
She needs it because Alana made a mistake later, didn't she? And Jamie
is clean.
She's
got the speed.
She's going to win this one from
USA 1-2.
1-2, 57 flat. She does it enough to take victory. Her first since Eagles 2014. Jamie Grubel-Poser and Sherelle Garrett, a new winning combination for the USA.
Well, Jamie Grubel-Poser has never medaled in Germany until last week. She wins the bronze last week, gold this week, and she did get married in Germany there to Christian Posner over the summer. Maybe that's the lucky charm she needed.
Not for Christian, he was off the podium today, but Jamie takes the gold. USA 1-2 in Winterberg. And Kaylee Humphries in third place takes the bronze ahead of Schneidi.
Bottom part of the track, she was the superior driver. Lana had problems in both times around curve 9 and then curve 13 in the second run. Jamie had it all together. Great starts, great drives. She was rewarded with the gold medal.
2 races in, 2 different winners, and the only common factor on the podium for the first 2 race weekends is Kaylee Humphries. Last year gold, and last week gold, this week bronze.
I wonder, it's Humphries is first and third, now Jamie's first and third. Who's the World Cup leader? It's tied, or is there speed points involved?
No, I don't think there'll be a split on it's on points. So Jamie Grubel-Poser and Sherelle Garrett. Mike Dionsen, they were moving the brake women around to keep them all fresh and to keep them all motivated.
That little Carrie Jones is impressive too.
Yeah, well, she got her first start, and the chances are next week we will see their other alternate in, and maybe it'll be a rest week for Sherelle Garrett.
U.S. team is loaded.
Yep, loaded for bear, and they are hunting. And they have their first medal, first gold medal of the season. Jamie Grubel-Poser, big smile from Jamie.
She never won in Germany till last week. She got that off her back.
So there's your result. USA 1-2, Canada 3, Germany, Austria, and Belgium rounding out the top half dozen. And then Sandra Kroll, rookie, and Katrin Beil in her first ever World Cup race, completing our top 10 here in Winterberg in Germany. Sherelle Garrett then moves from Alana Myers-Taylor to Jamie Grubel-Poser, and that brings in the pocket rocket Kerry Jones, just 22 from Killeen, Texas, her first ever World Cup race. And this is really sensible. The US team, they've got 4 brake women, they've got the 2 prime athletes, but Sherelle, this week Lauren Gibbs is having a rest. I imagine next week maybe Sherelle will have a rest. Lauren Gibbs will be back on the sled, and we'll probably see Tara Evans getting her first race start. It keeps the newcomers engaged, stops them just being sled dogs who hump stuff around and polish and train and don't get to race. And then if you need to call on them for a second heat, suddenly they've got experience.
Well, the U.S. team, the recruiting, you know, from Lolo Jones in the last Olympics and Aja Evans, wow, they have brought some brand new athletes in, and you know, their drivers were already fantastic athletes, former brakemen themselves. And now with these rockets that they got, the start times, you go into the Innsbruck World Championships, you might see the same result. They're going to have awesome start times. And in Innsbruck, you don't have the challenge of curve 9-10. You have a little bit of challenge in the exit of 9, also in Innsbruck, but not like it is here. And the start time is such relevant to the gold medal chances in Innsbruck. I'd favor USA to beat at least 2 sleds in the medals there, too.
And it looks like the US setup really worked here as well. The BMW sled and the technology, they made a good runner choice. And the brake woman change around didn't make any difference to their ability to go out and compete for medals. Been a busy morning here in Winterberg, and a very successful one for US sliders. Second race of the Women's Bobsleigh World Cup is a USA 1-2, a North American sweep of the podium. We're not in North America, we're in Germany, we're in Winterberg. Jamie Grubel-Poser and Kaylee Humphries, a win and a bronze apiece. They tie to lead the World Cup standings from Elfa Willemsen and Christina Hengster, just 2 points apart between the top Belgian and the top Austrian pilots. And this is what did it, John Morgan. Good start, rookie brakewoman, and a driver who hasn't won in nearly 2 seasons, and they all combine beautifully.
And the equipment, you know, they've got some of the best equipment in the world, if not the best, the BMW sleds, and point them in the right direction. You give them the fast start times. Got some good eyes and hands in the front seat, and you go away with gold and silver for the United States. The Germans pretty perplexed today in the fact that they didn't do as well either.
Sherelle Garrett, of course, not the rookie. It's Kerry Jones in the pink jacket there, the 5'1" pocket rocket. She's the rookie. Kaylee and Melissa Lottholtz, they take the bronze medal position. Alana Myers-Taylor and Kerry Jones in the pink, and Sherelle Garrett and Jamie Grubel-Poser in the, what do you call that, jade? There are gold medalists, whatever. A North American sweep.
Wow, North American sweep.
And we haven't even got to Lake Placid yet. That's a month and more away. That's it then for the women's bobsleigh here in Winterberg. A week from now, they race again in Germany at Koenigsee, Bavaria. Join us for that. Until then, it's Auf Wiedersehen.